Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode number 2 here in our All the Mods playthrough. Did not get a whole heck of a lot of time to stream this week because later today I am going back out to the Midwest. I have decided to officially move, and so I'm heading back out to spend a week there. I'm going to be working remotely, but I'm also going to be apartment hunting to find a permanent spot to set up and make my home office. And I'm very excited about it, but it meant that I didn't have a lot of time to play this week. I did, however, get my fancy 15-year cape. I don't know when you're watching this, but it might still be available. If you go to Minecraft.net and log in, you can get a celebratory cape with a creeper on it for 15 years. What we are going to do today, we're here in our creative test world, and when we did the streams last week and we did a little this week, we had some time to do some work with the Easy Villagers mod. And it's a really important one to show off at the beginning because it's really, really helpful. And so I'm going to go through here and show some tutorials on how the things work. Then we'll do some time in our world implementing some more permanent structures for them. So first of all, let's just demonstrate with some villagers. I'm going to put all but one of these away. You can see they're in my inventory, and that's because in this mod, if you find villagers off in a village or anything, and they're wandering around, normally you have to put a boat in and drag them around, and they're a real nuisance. In this one, you can crouch, right-click on them, and they get put in your pocket, and you can just pick them up, move them around. You can put them into chests, barrels, whatever you want to do. You can even store them in some limited barrels like this, which I think is hilarious looking. But that means you can pick them up. You can do it once they have professions, whatever you want to do. They retain all their information, and then when you want to use them, you can put them back down. Another neat feature from this mod is if you have a villager, let's say, a pretty common thing to do is to put down like a lectern, for example, to get a profession for this villager. And oh, I don't like his trade. You break the lectern, you wait for him to set up, and you put down a new one. They have made it so that you don't have to do that with this mod, because if we look at this guy's trade, there's some fanciness going on in the background you'll see in just a minute. But if we get this trade, we don't like this trade, rather than having to break the lectern, put it back down, get him to reset, we just hit this cycle trade button, and it gives us the next possible villager. And we can keep doing that until we find a trade we like. Here we like this Silk Touch trade. Then we can do the trade, and now he's locked in, so the cycle trade button has disappeared. If you pick this guy up, put him back down somewhere else, you do all the different things, he retains that information. So that is his trade now for good, because he's just like any other villager. Once he's locked into a profession, you can't reset him anymore. So that is another neat feature, and those two things alone would make this a really, really cool mod to use. But it also adds a whole array of features over here with these different block structures they've made. So the first one we're going to show is this trader block. So the trader block is just a place to put in a villager to do trades where he will be able to be traded with in a safe way without anything. So basically, instead of building a spot to protect the villagers and then making a big long row of them and causing a lot of lag, you use these blocks. They don't create any lag, and then you can interact, you can trade with them, you can do the resetting. So this one hasn't been locked in, so we can actually do it right here in the trade block, keep cycling until we find a trade we like, and then when we take it, oh, I don't have enough emeralds. Then you take that trade, now he's locked in, same way. And you can take the villagers in and out of these blocks by shift right clicking. So let's put this one away. And you can also take out the profession blocks the same way. So like, let's say I wanted to do, instead of using a lectern, I wanted to make this a block for a armor smith, or I think it's weaponsmith, one of those two. And then we grab a villager that doesn't have a profession. Since we put him in with that, he becomes that type of villager. Weaponsmith, I was right. And you can lock him in that way. So you can have just one of these and like use it to take your villagers out in storage if you want. Or you could make a whole wall that is just trading blocks, and you grab your villagers, Grab a few of these librarians. And you put your librarians all in. Now keep in mind, you have to give them their profession block or they won't be able to reset. But now that they've done that, you can trade with them all day, do all the things, take all the things, get the experience from them, just like normal. It's just done inside the block structure so that there's less lag and things like that. Cool. Let's put these away. The next block is the auto trader, and the auto trader is very similar. If we have a villager that has a trade, we put him in there, give him his profession block. So now it looks pretty much the same, except that there's a netherite floor. Now we can go through and cycle through the trades we have in here. And so if we take emeralds, helps if I spell. And we grab some emeralds. If we put the emeralds in there and we have it set to do this one, it will continually auto trade with him until he's no longer able or we run out of input items. You can see if we just feed emeralds into here, then we can do it. Now his trade is locked out. It will continue to trade again once his trade resets. It's important to note that if we use hoppers, we can do this in an automated fashion. So let's do it like this. We'll put a barrel down and we feed a hopper from underneath him into there. So now whatever we traded out goes into the output and it will come out through the hopper and into there. And we can feed in emeralds from the top and it will feed into the input. And so this will just sit here and forever, as long as the trade can reset, it will keep giving him emeralds and keep getting us bookshelves. So we can just let that go there and it'll do its thing. Next block is farmer block. So the farmer, you put in a farmer villager, you want him to be a farmer, or you can be a villager, I believe, that doesn't have a trade. So let's, or well, profession, I mean. So let's check and see if that's true. I can't remember if that works or not. So this one is a farmer setup. If we take a villager with no profession, we put him in there, he automatically becomes a farmer. And then we can take a crop and we give it to him. And he will just sit there, there's an output, and we can make carrots all day long. He'll just do his farming inside the block, and carrots will come out. Next block we have is our breeder. The breeder is a very simple block as well. You just create the breeder block, and then you put in 2 villagers, and those villagers, when given food, will create baby villagers. And you can use a hopper to feed in. So a way you could do this is you could take this farmer block and you could put instead of having the farmer down here, we could put him up in this block and then feed a hopper in. And so he's going to grow carrots and he's going to feed those carrots into here, and then they will give baby villagers. So we're going to skip ahead to the end here. I should have put this in a different order, but I want to show this while we're at it. The next block is that we could use this incubator. We put in a baby villager. You can see he pops into there. It will take time just like normal, but he'll grow up in a controlled manner just sitting there. And what's a fancy way to do this also is if we were to put that incubator block right there and feed another hopper in, well, then the baby villagers that are in here will get fed through the hopper. They'll collect in here and they'll come out as an output as adult villagers. So you can set up a system. Once you have a few villagers, you start with a farmer that feeds carrots into these two breeder villagers. Now you have infinite villager breeding without any lag on the system, and it will just sit here and convert baby villagers into regular full-grown villagers forever, as long as there's space. And it'll also stop once the output is full. It won't pull any more in, and so you won't end up having like millions of villagers all over your server. Nice little setup you can do right there. The next 2 things I want to show you is for we have our converter. The converter, you have villagers in here, and if we take, you still need the same things you would need if you were doing this without this block. So you need a potion, a weakness, and you need a golden apple. And if you go in here and you put these items into here, and you put this into here, and then we add in a villager, as long as it has enough things, it will automatically put him in there. It'll convert him to a zombie. It'll take the time, and then it will give him back and put him in the output as a villager who has had his trades set because of the conversion. So this villager that I'm putting in here, I've run through the conversion. You can see his trades are now reduced. And it's only for the person who has put him in the block and used the block. So it's you still have the limitations with that, but you do have the ability to get the reduced trades and lock them in here the same way. And this can be used for some automation as well. So that's pretty powerful way to do your villager trading. Finally, we have our iron farm. The iron farm couldn't be simpler. You build an iron farm block, you place it down, it already has a zombie in it. You grab a villager, you put him in there, the villager gets scared, and he starts producing iron ingots. He produces 4 iron ingots and poppies every 4 minutes, so you get 1 iron ingot per minute per farm, per villager. And these, if you wanted to, you could put them in a row, you could fill them up with villagers, you could put down a barrel, and you could run automation through, like with hoppers or some other kind of piping. And now every 4 minutes, each of these farms is going to produce a golem, and it's going to feed the iron down the line right into this barrel. And works so you can see the golem over here spawned in. He is going to take a few seconds to die in the lava. And then we got some more iron and some more poppies. So that's dead simple way to make an iron farm, and without creating a lot of villagers and golems spawning all over the place and causing lag for a server. So these are all blocks that we're going to be utilizing in our base to automate the process of trading with villagers. Now, the only one I don't have access to yet is the auto trader block, because if you look at the recipe for the auto trader, it requires netherite ingots, which we don't quite have access to yet, but once we get those, we'll be able to set up an auto trader that does some pretty interesting things. So for example, if I were to have a barrel here and I put a hopper on it and I put an auto trader on top, and I got ourselves, let's see, weaponsmith will be able to do it. And we go in and we put him in here, give him his grindstone so that he is in fact weaponsmith. Let's get him, actually I need to do him in a regular trader first. We would take him out, we'll put him in there. We'll do some trading to get him to have a trade that we want. Okay, so now he'll have iron trade. That's what we were looking for. Put him back in there. So now he has an auto trade for iron. If we feed iron into it, then we could get emeralds. So if we put a hopper in and I put one of these iron farms above here and I put a villager in there, now he's going to take, let's grab some iron from this one just to demonstrate it. If this farm makes iron, it's going to feed it into here. And once he receives enough iron, he's going to give us emeralds. And now we've created ourselves a fully automatic emerald farm that will run and produce emeralds for us without us doing anything at all. And this villager will reset just like normal. Clear out inventory, it's all full of junk. He'll reset just like normal, and the trade will lock, but then it'll unlock so that we can continue to do it. Just like this guy here has already unlocked his trade, and we've gotten up to 42 bookshelves while we were sitting here. We can feed some more emeralds in, and we'll start to get some more. And so you can see how kind of crazy the system could get, because if instead of feeding these emeralds into drawer, we could put pretty much any auto trader we want in there. And let's grab this villager, put him in there, and we will grab his bookshelf, or his lectern, I mean, put him in there. So now the emeralds that we get in here can get fed in, and we have now created ourselves an automatic bookshelf farm to create bookshelves for us. Any villager trade you want, you could automate. It just takes a lot of netherite to get to that stage and a lot of other resources, but this is a great way to exploit villager trading to its maximum potential. Okay, everybody, we're back here in the survival world. I don't have a huge amount of time today to do any recording, but I did want to get an episode up, and I wanted to get some of this easy villager stuff moved. So I did do a little work. I took the stuff from over here and moved it over. When we got started with the iron farms, I just made one of them, and then that gave me enough iron so that I could make hoppers, and then I had a whole bunch of these daisy chained together with hoppers, and they fed into this chest over here, which gave us a ton of iron and poppies while we were just working around here at the base. And now I want to make it so that we have an expandable way of doing this, and I'm doing it with these item pipes. I kind of like the way they look with where there's some stuff behind them. We'll probably put some blocks behind it too to make it look a little better when we're done. But for now, we have all of them getting fed in. All the poppies get put into this drawer, which we will probably just put a void on. Eventually, I want to set that up so that the poppies get turned into bone meal, and we'll work on that down the road. But for now, I want to make this drawer a little bigger because we're going to quickly fill that up. So we're going to do our sophisticated storage, and we're going to do some blank upgrades first. Requires some planks and some iron ingots. Iron isn't no problem for us, and neither are planks because we have some farms that are growing trees for us back behind us. And so we're going to do... We just need 3 of these for what we're doing right now. And then we're going to work on stack upgrades. So we want to go straight into one stack upgrade. And then we want to go into iron stack upgrades. And then I'm going to do gold, which means we need some gold blocks. I'm really limited on gold. The next thing I want to work on is setting up a gold farm so that we can really expand storage in a future episode. But for now, I think we'll have enough to get all 3 of these done. And we got 2 done. We'll have to get a little bit more gold to get that done. And we'll go to 2 of these up to this, which means we need 4 diamond blocks. And that will give us this. So now we can do 2 of these in here, and that'll bring us up to 2 million iron. That's pretty solid amount of iron. So I'm just gonna break this chest over here. Oh, so there's too many items in it. It won't let me just break it. So what I'm gonna do is, do I have any packing tape on me? I do. Let's grab this chest. Move it over, and we'll sit it next to this drawer. We'll set up item pipe connected here and go like this. And now this iron can slowly get moved out of here and put in there. If we wanted, we could put in an upgrade to make it go faster, but it's fine. Let's put a pipe there too, that way the poppies can also get moved out, and we'll get all that out of here, and then we'll clean up everything else in here. But for now, that'll get us our iron in here. We can make more iron farms easily because the iron farm recipes bring that up for us. Iron farm recipe just uses iron, which we get from the farm. We obviously have tons of it. lava buckets. We can make, well, we have the buckets we have. It doesn't consume the bucket when you craft the iron farm, so you can just take the same buckets, fill them up, craft some more, and then go get some more lava. Or we could automate the production of lava if we really wanted to. Stone, our cobblestone generator, we can just cook up some of the stone, and then we'll have to get some sand so we can make more glass panes. But we can expand this. My goal, I think, is I'm going to expand this all the way out 6 high to this corner, and I think that'll be more than enough iron that we're ever going to need. You can see the farms spawn in the golems. They get turned into iron, and then it automatically gets piped down here and put into our drawer, which is really, really cool. We'll be able to sit here and do it. And I put it on this wall because right below this wall, down here, is where I'm going to be putting our gem and ore and iron or ingot storage. And so then we'll be able to really easily set up a system to transfer it down here to add it to this storage wall once we're ready to do that. I do want to expand our storage and get it set up a little more, but we really need to get some more raw materials. And so in the next episode that I work on and during our streams this upcoming week, I'm going to work on setting up some automated systems to make automated gold, probably make automated lava so that we can keep expanding this setup. And then I want to start getting into the point where we can get netherite. And in the stream we had earlier this week, we were looking for a bastion so that we could get upgrading template. Is it a smithing template? Yeah. Smithing template so that we could do netherite weapons and things like that, so we can get into all the modium and progress with some of that, and get really started in doing some of the more advanced things in the pack, even though we're still really, really early on. This is going to provide us a ton of iron. Is it going to be enough iron for the end game? No, certainly not. We'll set up more advanced and complicated systems for iron, but we are never going to worry about iron for at least till the mid game now, because we can just expand this system if we need it to produce iron faster than we're using it, which I really don't think we're going to. It produces so much iron, but we do want to take into account that we're probably going to use some of the iron to trade with all of these weaponsmiths that I have here to get emeralds for the time being for our villagers over here, where I have gone through and I have gotten all the trades set up to do tools. I actually just had to do another pick because while I was exploring the nether after a stream, I hit the Q button and threw my pick into the void. So we had to craft a new one. So I have all the different villagers that we need here to do the tool enchants, and then I also found somebody who had loot in 3, so I kept it, and I have a few more that I'm working on. Eventually I'll get villagers where we can trade all the different enchanted books, so we can do enchanted tools. I brought up our tank here of XP so that we can keep getting levels, and I have a new one down there that's been filling up. It looks pretty full. Oh no, it's just the angle. So once it gets full, I swap it out, and then I use them up pretty quick. But so exciting times with the villagers. We can get all the automation done, but once we get netherite, we can start to get into auto trading, which means we can set up passive systems that will provide us with all the villager trades. So, you know, I'm expecting to see automatic lapis, redstone, glowstone, book farms, all kinds of automated systems that will keep us stocked in all the villager trade goods, with a little bit of setup, and then never having to worry about it ever again. But like I said, this week I'm really short on time. I can't really do too much. I'm not going to be able to have a stream on a Thursday night this week, which is a little sad, but can't be helped. I will actually be in the car driving, which would make it very difficult to stream. But next week we will do our best to get back to streaming again on Tuesday, assuming the internet where I'm at can handle doing streaming at all. We'll just have to wait and see. But I hope you guys are enjoying the series, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.